This is my second video on Znoskoborosky versus Mackenzie, played in 1924, a Roy Lopez closed variation. And White had just played its 15th move of knight to f1. And like I said before, the knight is making its way, here or here, and it's sort of headed for this square right here, possibly this square, depending on how things unfold. So now Black's 15th move is probably what I call the game loser, is a g6. So Black played this move really to prepare f5, but unfortunately what it did is that it actually weakened these squares around the king. That's how White is going to eventually win this game. It's going to be able to seize control of these squares and to win. So let's see how White did that. So first White plays bishop to h6, threatening to win the exchange. So Black plays knight to g7. And now White's 17th move is knight to e3. No longer can this knight come into f5, but it can definitely come into d5. And from there it can maybe make its way into f6. So now Black's 17th move is rook on a to e8. This move is really to help try to maybe shore up the black defenses on the king's side. It's sort of getting the rook over there to help support the pieces. And now White's 18th move plays knight to d5, and Black plays queen to b7. Personally, I think maybe a better move would have been to play the queen to d8, sort of helping to control the weak and dark squares, but along this line. But unfortunately, it sort of entombs this rook right here. Has nowhere to move. But b7 is not half bad. And now White, just to let you know, this is a well-posted knight, meaning really can't be dislodged, and White should really not let it sit, and maybe most games I'd say let it sit there and fester against your opponent. But basically White is going to exchange it off for a purpose. Like I said before, these squares now here are weak, and this piece right here is a defender to these squares, so White's going to take it. And then Black will take back, but White has gotten rid of one of the guards to one of the the key squares where it can infiltrate on f6 and h6. So now White plays d takes c5. The reason for this exchange is actually to bring in the queen, so Black has to take back or would lose a pawn. And now the queen comes to d6. So now we see that with this move, White is threatening to take this pawn to win a pawn, and also can now infiltrate to f6. So if we wouldn't have gotten rid of the bishop, the queen cannot really threaten to come to this square. It would have been no big deal, assuming the queen could have gotten over there after the pawns were moved. Black plays c4, sort of getting rid of the threat of White winning a pawn. Now the queen comes to f6, threatens mate. Black plays knight to h4, defending the mate threat and threatening the queen. The queen comes to h4. Just to let you know, if the queen would have come to g5, Black would have simply just played f6. So queen to h4. Now black plays the bishop back, the knight back to g7. Now white plays bishop to, it's going to try to rearrange its pieces a bit. Play bishop to e3, and the threat is playing bishop to c5, winning one of the rooks. So now black plays knight to e6. The cool thing here is that it defends these two squares. Now the queen comes back to f6, really to help sort of, keep the king where it is. White wants to keep control of these squares, and putting the queen back to f6 really helps to solidify the hold on the position down there. And now I think black embarks on a thing to try to get rid of the queen, exchange off some queens. So black plays queen e7 with the idea of moving the queen to here and hopefully trading off the queens. White plays bishop h6, threatening the rook. The rook moves over. Not too many good squares for the rook to go to. Over in this area, if it moves to one of the other squares, it's probably just going to interfere with some of the movements that the queen or even this rook here, so it would interfere with the movements of these two pieces. Also brings it to the c file, which could be open later. So now white plays rook on c to d1. Really, white is now controlling the open file. Attacks the bishop, which right now is defended by two pieces. Black plays rook to e8, rook on e to e8, with now the idea of bringing the queen to here and threatening to exchange off the queens. White now plays knight to h2. The idea is to bring the knight back up to here to where it could jump into one of these two squares. The queen comes, black plays queen to d8. And now, actually, white plays knight to g4. So now if actually, if black took the queen, white would retake, forking king and the bishop. So black would lose a piece. So black doesn't have too many moves, actually, good moves. And then black plays queen to e7, and now actually white takes, because after the recapture, then white just plays knight to here, check. And actually what will happen is that this bishop here will be attacked twice and defended only once by the rook that has moved here. And white will win a piece and eventually win the game. And black resigned at that point. So that has been Znoskoborosky versus Mackenzie, 1924.